so already, please make sure you hit that like button. If you have not done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have not done so already, please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, guys, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, thank you for tuning in to KR Culture Radio, man. How y'all guys feeling, man? How y'all doing today?
Doing great, man. What about you, man?
Hey man, I'm good, man. Blessed, man. All day, man. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right, go ahead, join, do your thing.
All right. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? What is going on? Hopefully everybody's doing good. The topic today, y'all see the title of Unblocking Generation Blessings of Addressing Jealousy in Parents. So, with this topic, we're going to go about how parents, sometimes, they'll be jealous with their kids about, it could be how they are, their talents, how they doing maybe well in life, how they might be doing in school, how they might be doing in social activities as well. So it happens like in like around the community, especially in our Black community, and not just Black community, any community as well, especially like in low poverty areas. And it's around there. I have some in my family. I don't know if you guys have some in your families. I know I have friends who share that hey, some of their parents has been jealous of them for for no reason at all, or some type of reason that they might think about but they never talk about. So definitely going to discuss it today. It's going to be a good topic to talk about. Hakeem, he's gonna play two videos. I'll talk about explaining of one of them explain how parents are be jealous of their kids, and then we're gonna show another one which shows a prime example of how a parent is jealous of their kids or their success and everything. So go ahead, Hakeem.
So I was talking to you guys yesterday about like toxic, proving that you're in a toxic family, and we had like a very, very good discussion. So I thought about like, why don't we discuss like the 4 reasons why your mom is like, why moms are like jealous of their daughters. I thought this would be like a really good like random topic for us to kind of just converse on since we started the support group. So let me give you the 4 reasons why. The first thing first, like the number one reason why your mom is jealous of you or why a mom is jealous of her daughter is because she's a narcissist or has narcissistic personality traits. Meaning that, she just lacks empathy. She has an inability to make real intimate connections with her child because at the end of the day, she just doesn't know how to properly care for and love her child because of her narcissistic traits. Number 2, she is possessive of her man, your father, her baby daddy, any of the things like that. So, for example, like when it came to my mother, she was very, very jealous of the relationship I had with my stepfather, even though she knew what was going on. Yet she still had this level of rage and jealousy that she wanted to kind of like, have him for herself. Meanwhile, I'm like, sis, he's yours. Actually, take him. I do not want him. Like, keep him away. So then that also starts this, jealousy and rage towards you. Number 3, she regrets her unfulfilled dreams or being able to accomplish everything that she wanted to accomplish growing up. So, for example, my mom and the whole graduation situation. My mother was pregnant with me when she was 17. So she didn't have the opportunity to graduate, walk across the stage. So to me, that is the reason why she didn't care if I graduated. She was like, I didn't graduate. I didn't get to walk across the stage and look at me, even though that was very shitty because as your daughter, you should want more. You know what I'm saying? And then number 4 is just being emotionally absent. Like, I feel like a lot of times mothers that are jealous of their daughters is because they didn't have that emotional connection with them. So, for example, growing up, my mother, she didn't have the best relationship with her mother. Like, my grandmother didn't tell her she loved her, didn't do any of those things. So I think for her, she just didn't even have the emotional capacity to be able to show me love and care. So it's really, really hard for her. Oh, I say all that to say, if you have any other examples or you believe there are other reasons why a mom is jealous, let me know. I want to hear in the comments.
Man, when I pulled up to that house that my daughter bought, the first thing I thought of was, ooh, that back part gotta be mine. If you have a millionaire daughter, why would you not look out for your mother, like the one that birthed you, that nurtured you, beyond everything else? Right now, in all actuality, I'm homeless. I can live in a Hilton, but I probably live in a Days Inn. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It is what it is. I'm a survivor. I'm a soldier. But she should be helping. Who leaves their mother behind? Me and my mom has had like a ton of issues. So I've invited my mom over. So I'm like, look, let's like kind of like hash out things and like kind of like basically put everything on the table so we can like move forward. Okay, why am I sitting here? Because you put in a chair.
If you can turn a little bit.
No, she didn't turn to me.
I am facing
That's
you.
now.
I've been faced you.
Anyway, go ahead.
I've been faced her, right? And I moved the chair that was in between us.
Okay, go.
Correct?
What is it?
I've been turned this way. But I've been turned this way, and this is what's the problem. So let's do this. It's out
I'm
the
not
way.
putting this on no TV.
We don't have to.
Okay, well, let's
Walsy,
go.
can I talk to you?
I'm done.
Can I talk to you? Right.
Here, take this off. I'm
Listen,
done.
what y'all not about to do is get me evicted from
No,
my fucking spot. That's
I'm
the
leaving.
fuck.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
leaving.
about to happen. So
I'm
if you
gone.
want to do that, you want to leave.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
You can
I'm
leave
gone.
quiet.
I am.
You're not about to do this to me. I'm not about to lose what the I worked so hard for.
I know. Cut the camera down.
Go ahead, Jordan. You done?
Hey, I got one more video. I got it's a quick pause to the day. I'm gonna send it right quick. I got one more video. I'm gonna send it to you. I just found out. Give me 1 second.
Definitely, it's a doggy dog world.
All right, go ahead. I think I'll send it to you. It's about the dad.
Or it says not available.
Available. All right, hold on. Let me try again. Hold on.
It's a doggy dog world.
Yeah, if not, but we'll just go through.
You can't find another one?
Let me see if I can find another one. Give me 1 second. I got one.
Huh? All
I
right.
found one. Yeah, I'm sitting right now.
Is it okay? This is it. This the right one?
Yeah, that's the right one.
Hmm.
him. In fact, in a lot of cases, it actually gets worse. There is something called post-separation abuse, and I feel like no one ever talks about it. How many of you are no longer with this man and still deal with verbal abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse? We are dealing with a narcissist who cares about two things only: playing the victim and making you look as bad as possible. On his priority list, his kids are at the way bottom. And yes, I know that deadbeat mothers exist too. You tell me on every single one of my videos. What I suggest is you make content about that subject matter and leave me to what I know best. To be clear, withholding child support is financial abuse. Saying vile things about the mother of your kids and lying about her to everyone around you is verbal and emotional abuse. Threatening her with the most ridiculous shit, psychological abuse. And neglecting and abandoning your family when they needed you the most is not only abusive to her, it's abusive to your kids. Mr. I care about my kids, but she won't let me see them. Get the fuck out of here. And still, by some ridiculous fucking chance, she's still called bitter. She's the bitter one, which is just another form of abuse that she continues to take, all while doing everything by herself. We need to get into reality. This shit is real. It's an epidemic worldwide. It needs to stop.
So this right here could be a clear example that toxic, narcissistic parents are sometimes very jealous of their children. And of course, if you're new here, I'm a narcissist, actually a narcissistic personality disorder. My entire childhood, my dad hated me because he said everywhere I go, I stand out. He was obsessed with making me fit in. Because why do you get to stand out and I have to fit in? Why do you get to stand out and be extraordinary or be different when I myself am ordinary? I have to fit in, even though my delusions of grandeur say that I should be doing more than what I'm doing. If you're dealing with a narcissistic parent that happens to be jealous of you, they're going to try to make sure that you don't outdo them in life. They're going to hold you back from achieving success in anything, especially in their own field. If they like doing something in their youth that you are very good at, they might try to hold you back from doing that. Especially if it doesn't make them look good. If it doesn't reflect good on that narcissistic parent, they're going to hold you back from doing that. So my message to children of narcissists is it's not your fault. You can't pick your parents. Hope this helps.
So yeah, fellas, we played a couple of videos. As you see, a couple of those people was dropping the germs about, the jealous of parents, the number one priority of being narcissistic. And I'm gonna pass it to you guys. So what you guys got on the topic?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I never personally experienced this. I've seen this a lot through like my friends and mainly women. You know what I'm saying? Not too much so men. I've seen mothers who sometimes tend to be jealous, especially when you like the new boyfriend around and you doing a lot, and especially if she's single and they seeing you. You know what I mean? The daughter got her a dude like. You know what I mean? He's bringing food over. He's buying bags. He's putting in work. You know what I mean? You taking trips with her. You showing different that. You know what I mean? Like, I done been in situations that he gonna leave you. He gonna leave you. He probably got a whole bunch of women. And I just always used to thought that was weird. I said, when you want your daughter to be happy, but if the mother not happy, she ain't gonna want the daughter to be happy either. It's a codependency there.
Now, according to psychological today, they were saying how parents being jealous of their kid is actually a normal thing. It's not really something that really talk about it, and not only that, but psychologists find it to be very unnatural to see parents actually jealous of a kid, envy of their children, but it is a real thing. Now, I'm with Hakeem. I never experienced it in my life. I never heard no one that I know on a personal level ever experienced that in their life. But can it be true? Yes. I think it don't really happen amongst men. I think this situation normally happen amongst women. Like when it comes to daughters and mothers, because as a mother get older, she kind of you quote unquote lose her attractiveness, and her daughter tend to get all the spotlight. Like for example, if a mother used to be voluptuous growing up, and now she's of age, and now her daughter is starting to become fully developed. Of course, she's going to get more attention than the mother does. So remember, women are more of attention seeking type creatures. So when they see someone else getting attention, they tend to be more envious. But that's just my take. But I know we're gonna go more in depth. But
When I think about this topic, I think about one movie, and y'all know this movie with Monique, and that's Precious. That woman, oh my God, that was that I saw that movie once, and I only saw, and that's the only time I'm gonna see that movie. And to see the disgust he had for her daughter, and it was just nasty. Now I never seen that like living, living back in Pontiac. I never seen that that bad, but I have heard of some people that I was cool with or friends with. Not that bad, but there was some jealousy there with their kids, mainly with the mothers and daughters and everything. And to me, when I see this stuff, it's like it's usually happening with single parents. It's rarely we see it when they're when there's a union of the family. I never hear something like that. But like I said, once we played another perfect example what we played was the Black China and her mom, and how she's jealous of her success and everything. And till this day she's still a success. Well, I'm sorry, not Black China, Angela White. I was gonna start saying that. So I could say this now when now with Black China changing name to Angela White, she's trying to do a 180, try to change her life and everything. And when we talk about the episodes a couple weeks ago. And you can see that there's this with Tokyo, there's sort of this thing that she had with her daughter and everything. With her fame, how she take care of her kids. How she's trying to prove her her life, and also try to prove it better her kids and all that. So, but yeah, it's like for back but living up, I've seen some things like it's going on about how like if let's just instance like one of my friends' friend it was a girl who wanted to go to the park. And the mother kept saying no. I thought it's because maybe she was a puncher and everything. And while the girl was growing up, she was saying that because the reason she was telling us the reason her mother was acting like that is because she didn't want the daughter have a lot of friends because I'm thinking back when she was little she wouldn't even have friends like that. To talk to and everything. So just to hear that, it's like, yeah, wow. It's like, even though your mother didn't have friends, it's like you should push, your kids to have friends. You should push your kids to have a better life that you always have. It's called when you have kids, you want to have the best for your kids. It's called paying it forward. It's trying to push that next, you try to push the next generation to be better than you was. I learned that from my family. My mom always told me, it's like, she was single mom. It's like, hey, son, there was some stuff, I did good. There's some stuff I didn't get good. But for you, I want the best for you. As for your younger brother, I want the best for you and your younger brother. I want y'all to do stuff that I never did before. And sometimes, I talk to my mom, she always reminds you of that, son, you're doing a phenomenal job, you did stuff that I never did, being married, living in different cities, doing something, that I'm definitely proud of. And, my mom always remind me of that, how proud she is. And so I really appreciate that. But yeah, it happens a lot, especially like in low poverty community, especially in the Black community. And, and to me, it's crazy. And we definitely need to change that.
yeah, but me reading this article of Psychology Today and also the New York Post, they also stated that some of the reason why parents tend to get jealous of their kids is because of the simple fact of the generation they are living in. Prime example, some people that was living in the 90s, that was a rough time in America. You're dealing with the drug epidemic, Black men going to jail for no apparent reasons. You already know black fathers not in the home, so now this kid in the 2000, pretty much they families pretty, even though they say the polls does so that it tends the father's not in the household. However, the polls does show that black fathers are in the kids' life. So a lot of kids they still have their fathers in their life in the aspect of co-parenting. So like some I would say it depends on the situation the kids and also they say it's considered generational as well. So if a kid was raised with a parent that was jealous, chances are the kid when he grows up of age, he's going to be jealous as well of his own kids. So that's why it becomes a generational thing. But the only way they can actually change that is by pretty much being acceptable to their own environment as okay, it is what it is. This is how my life is, and then don't change about it. Don't look at your kid as a curse, but really look at your kid as a blessing. Because remember, at the end of the day, people gotta understand that's a me to you. So if you're jealous of them, you're pretty much jealous of your own self, but that's you. Go ahead, Akeem.
Oh,
You
you're on
muted.
mute.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of generational trauma that we pass on from generation and things that are never getting fixed because nobody tend to A, don't have the money to go seek therapy, B, don't want to go talk to anybody about what they're going through, or three, they just think that they could just fix it as we go along or just be quiet about it. That's really just a black experience in the whole in general. We go through problems, we just don't talk about it. We just hope the stuff just goes away, and there's always underlying issues. So for sake of that, I always say that parents also tend to put, depending on what type of parents you have and how they raise you, they also put a guilt factor on you to feel like, hey, you have to do this. Hey, I did this for you. Or I did that for you. And they put that on you where, hey, you wasn't asked to be here, but you could tell where the sense of the mentality of the parents come. You know what I mean? And shout outs to the queen, Natasha Vincent. So when we do see that, I think it's imperative that as black people, due to due to the traumas that we have in present day. I can't talk about the past day because we haven't went through the past day, but the traumas that we gone through today in the last 30 to 40 years has to be addressed. Mothers need to sit in therapy with their daughters. Fathers need to sit in therapy with their sons. We all need to sit in therapy together to address these issues so there won't be no spite, jealousy, envious, or any type of other evil gluttons that keep us looking at our people in the wrong way.
I got a question for you guys. Do you feel like other cultures, when they have a problem like this, it could be like a mother to daughter or son to daughter? I mean, mother to son or dad to son or dad to daughter. Do you feel like other cultures put more accountability to their culture than we do in our black community?
Yeah, so I tend not to be I tend not to be true. Some coaches some coaches value their kids to the point that they don't mind if their kid stays with them. When it comes to Black Americans tend to kick their kids out at an early age. I think some parents kick their kids out at soon they hit 18, they out of the home. So a lot of Black Americans don't really value family as much. Because remember, like Hakeem said, a lot of these people are dealing with a lot of trauma, especially Black Americans. So and not only that, some of them literally had kids at an early age. Majority of people in Black America, I think there was a statistic. I think majority of them have kids before they hit 21, and I'm talking about Black people. That is. So if that is telling the truth, and a lot of these people have these kids young, so they didn't really have a time to enjoy their teenagehood or even enjoy college years and all the stuff like teenagers normally done because they quickly become parents. So that also brings up jealousy too. Like a regular household, like I think an Indian household, they don't play around when it comes to birth. They're very serious when it comes to that. Like nobody can have kids too early. White America's not even as high. I forgot the Jewish culture, same thing. Indian cultures, like they do not play when it comes to certain things about young parenting. So, but the black culture seem like we don't have that thing live. They're like, okay, you're a certain age, then you go ahead and do it. Go ahead, I can.
So I do want to point something out that I think is imperative to understand. So me coming from a Caribbean household, we have our own dysfunctions, and to the point where, and especially being Haitian, Jamaican, Trini, if you come from any of these islands, is ever what the parents say goes. There's no questioning it. There's no talking about it. So this is the problems that we have at times. So if there's something needs to be done, that it just has to be done. The grandmother always says this. The grandfather says this was has to do, even if it's the wrong thing to do. So that even trickles down to parents, because sometimes a parents might not want you to do something, doesn't understand what they're saying, but they say, hey, I don't want you to do this. But do you know why you telling me you don't want me to do this? No, I just don't want you to do it just because. So you know what I mean? So those issues. Now the only two people that I've seen from close eyes view that has some sort of type of way where they sit down and talk to each other is Hispanics and Africans. I've been to a situation where there's been like a meeting with the family members. I was very privileged to be a part of something like that. There was an issue where there was something with a husband and a wife. The uncle, the mother was there. They had to discuss what was going on and get to some type of resolution and try to mediate the situation, come to a situation. I've never seen that in a Caribbean household or in a Black American household. You know what I mean? But other cultures, I know they've done that, but that's what I've seen physically. And Hispanics are very more liberal and more new age when it comes to conversation with their kids about things.
Especially, I'm gonna speak for especially our Black American communities, FBAs or ADOS. For us, I feel like I believe like for us, like when we kind of went soft fast to put accountability as a parents, and one specific place I'll say that is the church. I remember and like going to church when I was little, when something like this, like holding people accountable, especially parents, like when they read scriptures, like on Bible studies or a sermon, something like that. It's like when a preacher has talked to you, you felt that. You get what I'm saying? Like when a certain scripture talk about something, I'll be accountable, especially in parenting. Like when a pastor is talking to you. When I was little, I like to say you felt that. It's like you felt like the pastor was like talking to you. You know. Now it's like when we like in the church. Now it's like we're not trying to hurt your feelings. It's like wait a minute, we could. It's like more of a catering in a way instead of holding you accountable and everything. And I feel like, especially these churches out here, that they're failing at that. And that's why we're not putting it accountable into these like single parent household. And now it's like it's running rapid, more than ever. And we're seeing that, it's in our communities, TV shows, social medias, and in other areas. And at that, I believe, if we bring the men back into church and start putting shame back into the community, because we, like I said, we definitely lack in shame. Other communities, they shame, they put that in top priority. If you mess up, you're gonna get shamed. Our community, we lost that. It's out of control. Now we seeing it's playing out in real life. Now it's like we're not passing on to our generation. And our culture just out of whack. And it's guys getting worse, and it's getting a lot more worse. If we can fix that, put that back in our church, put that back in our homes, and start with this generation or the next generation, we can develop. We can definitely develop a better in our Black community, and we can start pushing on to our generation, and we can improve improve that in our generation, because we know that it's like for me, I didn't learn, till really put accountability to heard that from somebody. It's like hey, if you want like a strong family, strong foundation, strong marriage and everything, make sure you hold yourself accountable. Or if your spouse or your mate do something, make sure you hold that person accountable too. Make sure you know adjust what they do wrong and fix it. Because if you stay silent and don't say anything, you're not fixing nothing. You just making the duration worse.
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's a good point. Yeah, go ahead, Hakeem. What?
No. I was just saying, definitely. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say that's a good point. Shane was when Shane was taken out of the black culture. It seemed like it made everything go to worse because remember back in the days, parents used to be ashamed of being jealous of their kids because shame is like the totem pole. Like, okay, you're doing something wrong. So when shame was taken out, a lot of parents say, okay, I think it's okay to be jealous of my kids. And when that situation, stuff like that transpired, then you got parents harming their kids as well because it seemed like everything for their kids, everything going well for their kids, everything going smooth for their kids. So they're like, "Oh, your life is better than mine. Then hell, let me just delete you." And that's the scariest thing we living in today's time. Because today's time, it seems like it's no holds bars in all areas when it comes to emotion. A lot of us tend to be having a lot of emotional imbalance. We don't know how to deal with our emotion correctly. That was it. Is very important. I think it's time for some people to start sitting on these couches because these couches, it's that a lot of people dealing with a lot of trauma. Like I think I was just reading an article the other day. I think it was a father. He killed his son. Sorry, he deleted his son, and I think he threw the body into the gator's mouth. So just imagine. That's
Yeah, I
just
heard about
that's
that.
the
That's
type,
yeah, that was disgusting.
that's the type of trauma that we live in, and he was black. So that was saying that's the type
Yeah,
of trauma we live
I know that
in.
person. I know the family of that person.
See, and you know the family of the person.
Yeah, you know
My
the family
condolences go
too.
out to them. Huh?
You know who that is too.
I really don't know, man. I gotta do research.
Oh no, I know. I could tell you because it's public information. That's Jeffrey's white family.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's Cynthia's cousin.
You see, people are dealing with trauma, and that's why it's very important. But my condolences do go out to her because I know her too as well. I didn't even know. That's
I didn't know that too till he called me and told me that. But it's I'm asking. We have personal like we have things like this happen to people that even are close to us. You know what I
yeah.
mean? One day somebody wake up and just
Yeah,
but there was always an underlining issue. Nobody likes to talk about stuff. People scared to offend people. People scared to come to a
yeah.
resolution. We're adults here. We have to be able to understand conflict resolution and
Hmm.
start to see that people have some type of mental health issues. Those things have to be addressed. I always tell people if you're not mentally there, then you're not ready to get in a relationship. You know what I mean? Or you're not ready
Hmm.
to be in a friendship with certain people if you can't get yourself together.
And I'll say another reason they affected it's a pandemic. Me and my wife was talking about this earlier.
Yes.
How everybody was staying in the house and being confined in the house. Some people say like they would say like kind of like solitary confinement in a way because you had to stay in your home. All everything was closed at the time, and people didn't know how to maintain that. And me and my wife was talking about, hey, once the pandemic was over, a lot of people just would go through their lives, but they didn't deal of kind of the trauma of with the pandemic of how everything was going on, how especially our younger generation of them had to not going to school, start doing homeschool or doing schools going online, going on Zoom and everything. So I'm kind of afraid and kind of sad for our next generation that deal with with the pandemic because they suffer a lot. Not graduating, not getting their certificates, not going to prom, or even starting their freshman year in college. It's devastating to a children like that. So that has a major to me that has a major effect, especially on the younger generation. And I feel like especially around this time, like I don't know why therapists is not posting on their social medias or really trying to promote. Like I said, hey, we really need to get therapy and for our kids and also for our parents as well.
Yeah, go ahead. I can agree to comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says maintaining good mental health is crucial for good parenting. One thing people overlook is that therapy is helpful when life is going great, not just when the deep trauma. Another one is thank you for having this healthy conversation. Most definitely, you know,
Yes.
we want to try to attack things that are uncomfortable, but this typically happens all the time. And the jealousy of parents, the jealousy of mothers with the daughters, and you know what I mean. And when you meet people, you try to understand why they're not family oriented, why they don't go see their parents, why you don't have this, especially if you come from a very close, tight knit family, and you want to incorporate anybody, even if it's just on a friendship. You know what I mean? Even if it's just on a friendship, to be like, hey, you want to come by and get something to eat? He's like, yeah, it's cool with you. He said, you know, we don't do that we don't do that where we come from. And you start to understand, okay, some people come from dysfunctioning household, but that doesn't have to mean the next generation has to go through that. You have to be the catalyst to stop that right then and there. I am very open and honest to say that, you know what I mean, I've went to therapy myself to try to understand who I was as a person. Because I want to be a better husband, a better man, a better friend, a better employee to people who I come across to. Because if I'm not self-aware of what's going on, and this is the issue, blacks, I think maybe all over the world, and let's say Western countries, is not being self-aware of who they are as a person and what they might be lacking or what they're going through.
Yeah, I agree with that, King. And for me, it's like, let's go back with marriage. It's like, I mean, me and my wife married, but being out here in LA or in my family, it's not a lot of people that's married. So especially in our black community. So for me, it's like, being with my wife for like 13 years, it's like, this to show the people here and to show people, friends I have here, family that I have, back at home, just like, or just posting stuff of me and my wife just doing things like yo, like for instance, like me and my wife is going to go to Coachella. We're going to be posting pics and everything, and just to just show us like, hey, look at Jordan. They've been together for 13 years. Even though we don't post a lot of stuff on Instagram, or we might not do that. We all, when we post something on Facebook or Instagram, my, our side, like I said, my side of the family, with this our family in general, from my wife's side or my side, they always post like, hey, look at Joy, they still holding together, they still holding up tight, they still, traveling, they still find a west, they still together, and you like I said, hold on, fellas.
Hey, Natasha, 13 years is beautiful. That's unheard of compared to a young black couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And marriage is not promoted anymore. That's the sad thing about it, is a lot of people are scared to get together. And this is why it's so hard to say that how you going to build a community without being married. So, you know what I mean? Natasha was just commended you about being with your wife for 13 years. I said, that's unheard of.
Yeah, it's like my relation. A lot of people saying like, Joe, that is rare, like super rare. And usually, when the other cultures, like when they go to the school or tech school, like usually they'll like find a mate and and if everything's worked out, they get married real quick.
You see, and this is the point that we want to talk about. We need to not normalize that. Listen, if we normalize having sex early and be having sex, why can't we normalize getting married?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I meet somebody and me and a person vibe. It's not going to take me too long to be like, okay, let's go ahead and handle this. But a lot of people are not willing to do the work, don't want to go to therapy, don't want to do the work to get married. You know what I mean? And understand that what it means to be like, hey, we're going to take care of each other. Do death do us part. And we got to be able to talk with one another. You know what I mean? So to hear that, when you told me that, I thought you was like a unicorn. I said, this nigga got to be from out of state to be with his wife 13 years. Ain't listen, ain't want no side piece either. Ain't had no hunger, no lust. Because coming here from down south, everybody
Yeah,
want to have
Miami.
yeah.
Yeah, Miami is a totally different animal. But not just that, Hakeem. What I was, when I was with one of my godbrothers at the time, like when I was hanging out with Robert and Lamont at the time, in the area was in for Pontiac. It's like it was basically like you said, lose your virginity. Like you gotta have sex with a lot of women to make you like you the top dog and everything. I mean, it was push around. It was like
See,
really push. And it's like I said, if you ain't lose your virginity around a certain age, you was whack. That's what they would say. And the thing is, it's like I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable. I'm like this here just kind of made me feel uncomfortable. It's like because well, me, I have a tight knit family and everything. Majority of my family is married. But when you get pushed out, going to school, you seeing all this type of sex and everything, and go to these parties, and, see, it's like I say, it's just crazy. So with me, it's like I step with my guts and step with my tools. I say, you know what, this area's not gonna be right for me. So let me get out of here. And so once I got out of here, totally different environment. Going to school. Me and my wife starting as friends, and then start have feelings, and then after that, and then what really was crucial is like for me, it's like when I had a girlfriend, if you made it at 6 months, I'll keep her. And my wife, like I said, my wife was my first girlfriend at the time who made it past that 6 months because she was, like I said, she was just everything. She was everything. And I feel like, if you know somebody after that 6 months, like I said, you corner at the time. After that, it's like, hey, let's take it to the next level. Let's see what's up next.
Yeah, I would say not only that, but a couple of things, especially when it comes to women and their jealousy. Women tend to see, for example, if their daughter gets married, their daughter got a husband, they like women tend to get jealous over that. Like there's a lot of key areas jealousy roles. Now, jealousy is a normal thing. I'm gonna just keep it. Being jealous is a natural thing, of course. We're human. Who's not gonna be jealous? At some point, you do get jealous someday. It's a human thing. However, it's how you handle the jealousy that's the issue. Will your jealousy drive you to harm to another, drive you to hurt another, drive you to annoy another person? So that's when it comes, especially when it comes to your children. So that's the issue we're having when it comes to Black America. Black American families tend to be jealous of their kids. They tend to do more harm than good, and that's the issue we're dealing with. Beautiful thing to see people married for a very long time. You don't see that anymore. I think my mom, when she gone to her next life, she was married to my father over 40 years. So you don't really see that anymore. That's like the old school type of culture. So when you hear people getting married or in a relationship for a very long time, I praise that because you don't see that anymore. And now that we live in an era now, I think the longest marriage people are having is like not even 10 years anymore. It's like 5 years.
5 years at the moment. But
Yeah,
I also want to point something out that Jordan, you mentioned something that was very pivotal. I think a lot that went over a lot of people's head, that how culturally where you was coming from, people was just say you need to just go ahead and have sex. You feel me? And just get it here in Miami, here down south in Florida. What was pushed more was having kids. We should have like having a baby here is like the pinnacle thing here. No marriage, no getting to know the family, no paying retribution, none of that. Like the stuff that what I mean. You had kids with somebody, I got kids with her. And I used to all thought that was weird in a sense, like, okay, we got kids, but we not together and stuff like that. So it's all about what do you want. And I think that I'm happy that we're older now and we got the internet. You can start to realize and see what's right and what's wrong. Like, hey, I want to be married. I want to have a healthy relationship with somebody who loves God. And that also is a big component, who wants to be married, who wants to engage and understand that you're not going to give up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this. Roddy made a good point about the woman jealous of the kids, and I'm gonna bring another reason too. Another reason that a woman might be jealous of the kids is because let's say that woman really really likes the baby father at the time, but the baby father is not feeling the woman. So what she do is she might say, hey, let's, she probably won't have a baby from the man. So they might have sex unprotected. And then boom, a baby, she's pregnant and everything. And the man said, hey, I don't want to be the dad. I don't be the father. It might happen what she said, I might pregnant, or he might change his mind between, when the baby's born or like between 6, 7, 8 months. And then when that happens, the baby gets really, the mother and the baby mama, she'll get really, really upset. And then she'll use that, that anger and put the jealousy on the kids because the father left. And then sometimes, the kids could look just like the father. Mm-hmm. And they be seeing that it's like, yo, the son or the daughter don't look nothing like more of the father than more of the mother. So that every time they see their kid, they look at the father and they have jealousy or that type of stuff. Yep. And so one of the reasons is that, they some women believe like, if I can have a kid, he'll stay with me. No, that's not the case. If that man marries you, then he's 100% in. Then he'll be, he's 100% having a kid. I don't know why some women think it's like, oh, if they're not married, he's not feeling that way, I'm just gonna have a kid with him and not being married. That don't make no sense. If the man's not marrying you, he's not gonna be with you.
Facts.
No, that's facts. That's facts. That's what I say. That would say jealousy is it. It could be. I know some people say it's healthy to be jealous, but of course, when it comes to that balance, but if you have that imbalance, I think you need to sit on someone's couch because that could be very, 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 very dangerous. Very dangerous. But when it comes to parents, to me, I think the best thing on this earth is to become a parent. I don't know why some parents are jealous of their kid. Sometimes I tend to try to figure it out and to find out like why their parents are jealous of their kids. But I think because it's pretty much it's how they was raised, and how this generation. I'm not gonna lie, this generation of kid, they must be pretty much they have it easier than hard. There's more opportunities. There's more there's more money that's been made ever before. Like this generation, they got a lot of things going for themselves. Like I think recently I saw an interview with Angel Reed, the college basketball player, on how she made so much money just by playing college basketball. So it's just there's a lot of money to be made. So parents see that, they're like, wait a minute. When I was growing up, you couldn't even get endorsement deals. You get what I'm saying? So those plays a big part. Go ahead, Akeem.
No, you're right, man. And I think that her mother and father was married. I think all this plays a big focal point on raising healthy kids and having a healthy lifestyle with the people that you're with. You know what I mean? And that's why I say we're going to start doing arranged marriages here. That's what we're going to start doing. We're going to start doing arranged marriages. You know what I'm saying? Start putting people together and be like, hey, Jim Bob, Mary Lou, y'all get together. Let's get this union together. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So
yeah, like arranged marriages. Bro, most of us don't even want to get married nowadays. Arranged marriages in this culture, good luck. Most of the people today don't even want to get married.
No, it's crazy.
They don't want to. They idea about marriage sucks.
Listen, I tell y'all a long time ago. Hey, I don't have a big requirement. I just need a couple kids, just about five, like a good number, 5. We can get this thing popping.
For some women would think that you were saying insane.
Yeah, they say I'm insane for 1 in 5.
Right.
Yeah. 1 in 5, you can do it. You just be how many kids you want.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want 5 so we can grow, have our little farm, and grow some milk and cows and stuff. You know what I mean? I still am a proud Southerner.
I would say more than 5. I have some relatives that have 6 kids.
You see?
You know what I'm saying? My dad has 6 kids. Like that was you could get a couple.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
now, girls nowadays don't really. People think girls care. Girls don't care, man.
No, a
I
lot of
think
dudes,
girls
listen,
care. Girls do not care.
a lot of dudes, girls in America care. They don't want to have 5 kids. They was like, no, one and done, one and done, one and done. And I'm like, listen, do they know that men want kids? Like good men want kids? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Listen, oh, you see, thank you. Thank you, Natasha. She said, shout out to your large family. Hey, Natasha, you wouldn't want to have a bunch of kids? Huh?
Nah, I think
Natasha?
most
Natasha?
girls, most girls in America, I think they say the limit is 3. I rarely even met a guy. I rarely even met a girl that said she want 5 kids. Majority of them say they want 3.
Yeah, that's rare.
3 is small. Listen, big suburban with 5 in the back. 5 in the back.
Or an Escalade or something.
An Escalade with 5 in the back. You and the wife. You know what I mean? That makes what 5 plus. That's 7 people. 7 in the house.
Yeah,
Well, you gotta understand something. You gotta understand something. People that was raised back then, like during my father's time and my parents' time, remember they consider their kids to be wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So the more kids you have, is more wealthy for you to bring within your family. This generation don't see it that way. They see it the total opposite. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I agree. They think that's like I say, I can't do that. It's like, they don't. It's like they don't want to do the work. They don't know the meaning of wealth, of just having kids. When you, like I said, when you have 4 or 5 kids, you never know. One out of 5, one might be talented. If they play a sport, football, basketball, or the one might be a really, really smart, high intellect. They probably want to be an astronaut or a mad scientist. Like you just don't know. If when you have multiple kids, like what's your kids, what kind of talent they had, or how high their intelligences are. For me, like I said, let's say, like I say, if I had like 4 or 5 kids, let's say one of my kids would say, hey, I want to be an astronaut. And the thing is, like, you want to be an astronaut, there's a lot of people can't be astronauts. So you gotta be, like I said, you gotta be very, 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 very smart. You gotta be very, very intellect. And you gotta be, you gotta be one of these, 10, 50 percenters to order to do it. And then also, you got to go to the Navy and fly, all that type of stuff. So stuff like that, when a kids want to do something. And for me, it's like, if my kid want to be with an astronaut, it's like, okay, if you want to be an astronaut, it's very little people that do that. You got to have their very, very, you got to be highly skilled, and this is stuff you got to do. And that's how I would tell my kids that if I had 5 kids and one of my kids would say, hey, I want to do this. You just never know.
Okay. Natasha said 4 max, but I have a friend with 5, all girls. Her and her hubby are busy but happy. Yeah.
Me, all 5. See, this right here, well, I'm gonna use it. Natasha, I have to use that for a debate because most guys don't understand. I keep telling guys all the time, there's more women in the world than men. If your friend have 5 girls and a friend of mine have 3 girls,
yeah,
all girls, no boys.
No boys.
Girls are getting. That was I'm telling you, I think they are lying about these numbers about how many women is actually in the world. I'm telling you, there's more women than men. I think they want men to feel good about themselves. Like, oh, it's more men than women. No, I think it's more women than men. Everywhere I turn, there's more women everywhere.
Plus, men die off quicker.
Yeah,
another thing, Hakeem, that's a fact. Men die out quicker.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, man, if you ever go to the club, look how many more women it is in there than men.
Lord Jesus,
just look around. Sometimes in strip clubs, there might be some more women in strip clubs than it is.
It is. I see it all the time because I'm a heavy guy that goes to strip clubs. So I'm telling you, I see it all the time. So that thing right there is real.
Yeah.
So though I told you, I think that's a whole nother conversation. I can't wait for that conversation of polygamy talk. Because that's why I always say the math ain't adding up. It ain't adding up, fam. I'm just being real with you. They ain't adding up.
I know it ain't adding up.
Pretty soon it's gonna be very rare for you to see a man out here in these streets. Because it's literally, I'm being real with you. Because women are being born every second. And so it's crazy. It's
That's why we need this. That's why we need to have multiple children to make sure some boys survive. You know what I mean? That's what I say. You know,
but the crazy thing is, like, he had 5 kids, all girls. I mean, his name is pretty much done with,
yeah,
unless his family, like one of his brother guys, name back. Because
yeah,
soon as girls get married, his last name is done. It's
yeah.
gone.
The legacy is gone, and that's the thing. You see, I don't think. I wonder if women think about legacy the way we think about it. You know what I mean? The family
But according
name.
to Japan, a friend told me in Japan, the man takes the woman's last name.
Oh no, that could never happen here.
Well, that was in Japan. That's what I heard in
Yeah.
Japan. My friend was telling me, saying in Japan, the women takes the man takes the woman last name. I don't know how true that is. I
And,
ain't researched that, but he was telling me, yeah.
and that's the first I heard of that. I've ever heard that in my life. It's like I'm like, what? That's foreign to me.
You know what I mean? I would think that, you know what I'm saying, like you would take your husband's name and y'all create a whole new family.
Yeah, and the thing is, in our African culture, you go back to Africa, nah.
Yeah, no,
Nah.
we the man takes we take the woman. I mean the woman take the man's last name.
Yo,
That's an African culture thing. That's an Haitian thing. I don't even know Dominicans. I don't know if they have the same thing. I'm not even sure. Spanish culture. I'm not even sure.
I want to make you laugh about something. I met a girl one time who wanted. She said we had kids. Because she already had kids. She said, "Oh, I want all my kids to have the same last name." I said, "Then your daddy gonna take care of them then."
Her last name? You want all her kids to have?
Yeah, because the first two fathers wasn't around, so she gave him her father's last name. So, but even though I'm in the this was years ago. She said even though I'm in the picture, she didn't want the other two kids to feel bad. So I say she was like, "Oh, if I got to give you some kids, I want all of them had the last name." I say, then your father must be going to be taking care of all 4 of them, because I'm not taking nothing that doesn't have my last name on it.
Or did you convert them to your last name? You ain't bring up an argument like, oh, have them convert to your last name.
You see, that's the thing. That's if the other kids want to do that. You feel what I'm trying to say? But it was just so funny that she even suggested that. Oh, I want all the kids to have my last name. And so, but I said we're gonna be together. I'm gonna pay for the kids, and they're not gonna have my last name. I say, so that means that it's not stamped then. So I guess since it's your daddy last name, then your daddy gonna take care of you and all the 4 kids.
That's a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Very interesting topic.
You know what I'm saying? You have girls who think, don't get me wrong, in the 90s, a lot of girls, if they wasn't with you or they had a baby from some random guy, they gave them their father, they gave them their last name, which is their dad's last name. It's a bunch of dudes who I knew who grew up with me who have their mother's last name. You know what I mean?
I do. So yeah.
You see what I'm
saying? Oh, you got your mother's last name?
Yep. From my granddad, yep.
From your granddad. But even though you knew, you see what I'm saying? And that's not typical. Even though who your father is, you're supposed to have his last name by technically, but the mother was like, nah, he ain't around, so I'm just gonna give him this. But I just said, yo, lineage is still from this line. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, look, my nephews and nieces, they all got their dad's last name. You know what I mean? Even though them niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
No, that happened. You hear that a lot. That was kudos to the stepfathers. I don't know why people have a hard time with stepfathers. There's a guy I know, he don't like stepfathers. So kudos to stepfather. He's willing to take care of somebody else's kid. To me, it takes guts.
It takes courage. Here's the funny thing about me. If I ever met somebody that had kids, that was okay, and we had kids, you have to listen. This might be a little bit crucial now. I wouldn't mind adopting the person kids, but you got to give me the same amount of kids that you had that you came in a relationship. That's my.
So they have 4. They got to give you 4.
They got
so that's 8.
4. Huh?
So you gonna have 8 kids in total.
8 kids in total. They got to give me 4. And if you give me 4, I'll get the other 4 my last name. I say, okay, now I can feel comfortable. Be like, okay, you gave me 4, so you don't ante up. So the other folk can have my last name. It'll just be one big family. But if you came in here and you're not giving me the amount of number you give, we can't do nothing. A lot of people
That's
turn
an
crazy for
interesting.
that.
That's an interesting topic. That's a
Yeah,
weird. That's a
yeah.
yeah. Put that in one of the topics to talk about. But that's an interesting topic.
Mhm. No, for
Yeah.
real. You want to be with? Listen, you want to be with me, and you have kids. You got to give me the same number of kids you got. You got one, you got to give me one. Matter of fact, you got one, you got to give me two. Then I'll adopt your. Then I'll adopt your child. Because then I'm gonna feel that you made a sacrifice to say, okay, I want to show him where my head is at.
See, I'm different. Let's say the guys in the kid's life, right? I would tell my wife if I'm married to my wife, I would tell my wife, give the child up to the father, give it to him. I know some people be all
That's
I
fine
would tell them
too.
give it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool too.
That's cool too.
I'll
Yeah.
tell him give it to him. Go ahead, give it to him. Like give him the child. Like give him the child. The child
Yeah.
can still come over, but I would like give him the child. Like give it to him. Now he said I don't want the kid, this and that. I'm gonna make sure I do like a contract or something. Okay, we're going to court. You say you do not want to be no involvement in this kid's life. So if you ever come in the near future, like, oh, that's my kid. Nope, I'm gonna sue the hell out of you straight up. Cause I'm telling you right now. Cause I'm telling you, get the child. Like just get the child. It's cool.
No, definitely.
But I would say that's the issue of dating single mom. But that's to say that's another topic in itself. I know we passed our time, but that's another topic. I think that's one of the issues why guys don't like dating single moms or marrying single mom because of that issue of the baby father. That's why. It don't have nothing to do with the woman. It's because of that aspect. Because the father can come at any time, and you cannot deny him rights.
No, and you shouldn't. You feel what I'm saying? You shouldn't, and that's what it is. And I'm happy that Natasha said it's a requirement, but and it's a point. Men don't have an issue being with single mothers, but the single mothers have to understand what you come into and what you bring to the table. You have to structure the deal a little bit differently. You come with a couple kids and you want to be with another man and he doesn't have no kids. You got to make this thing appealing because you know what I'm saying. And then he has to deal with the baby daddy. He has to deal with miles that are not his and stuff like that.
I don't think that women realize how much a man has to sacrifice when you bring in multiple kids to that person.
Oh my God.
I don't think they know how much a man's going to sacrifice.
This is a whole topic in
It
itself.
is, yeah.
So I would say it is the whole topic because I was gonna ask y'all questions about how do you deal with what happened if the guy's in jail for like 20 years to life. I would say,
He's non-existent. Listen, he's non-existent. If he's doing 20 to life, you the daddy. If you stay around, that kid is. If you there longer than 6 months, you're technically the father because your name is going to get mentioned after you leave. He's going to say, "Yeah, Mr.
No, but he's still in jail. He's still alive. He's in jail. They could go see him in jail. You get what I'm saying? So that's why, like, that's a whole nother talk. That's a whole. That was say I get why guys say don't date single mother because it's just the issue with the baby father. That's why. Now, if the baby father is dead, then I'll be like, okay, cool. He's no longer on his earth. But if he's still around, like he's still alive, my mind be like, yo, he could come at any time. Like, yo, I want to see my kid. You cannot deny him rights. Unless it's by the court, like, hey, you came because he's a drug user, he have a gambling problem or anything, then okay, but then that's a whole nother topic, bro. That was we got some. We got some.
No, we do. And I think it's imperative to have that conversation just to try to educate women on how to approach it in a better light. Because I want to just get this point before we leave. I'll tell this to people who I meet who have kids sometimes. And the fact that I say, hey, I don't mind talking to you if you have kids, but I have to have my own kids with you. You have to remember the guy who you're talking to has his own family. He has a mother, he has a father, he has a brother, he has sisters, he has aunties, he has cousins. Their family want to be connected as well. So they're not going to say they're not going to love your kids, but we all know as soon as that man dies, if there's no physical connection, you go off and marry another man, you're going to tend to not talk to the other family anymore unless you can be like, oh, Junebug, go see your grandmother. Go over there. I'm going to go see your my ex-husband grandmother. You know what I'm trying to say? And this is what I try to explain to people. I say, hey, you know he has a family, right? Some women probably meet men who don't have families, and they think it's okay to be like, hey, this is all you need. This is your family. I come from a very tight-knit family. And I say to them, I say, hey, it's a lot of women in my family. You feel me, trying to say? So they expected some babies around here. You feel what I'm trying to say? And this is why they was like, hey, why don't you just go get you a young, nice girl who doesn't have no kids? Because you want to know why? They know that there's some exclusivity there. They be like, hey, she doesn't have no kids. You and her can build something together. Y'all can have a family, and we can blend the family together. So that's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah, guys, you already reached our almost. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, on your way out, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And remember, hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. And also, go in the community tab. In the community tab, you already know the KR Culture Radio T-shirt. We have it in white and black. And also, Prince Hakeem new book, Black Love. And also, thank you for all the new subscribers that subscribe to the page. We greatly appreciate it. I think you guys can see that we've been putting in the hard work. We dropping shorts, we dropping daily reaction video. We leaving stuff in the community tab. Remember, at the end of the day, it's to keep you guys entertained, and not only that, but it keeps us busy. Because we love to entertain you guys. We love to see you guys each and every week. You know what I'm talking about. We love to see your presence. We thank you so much. And also people that's going to watch this on the replay, thank you guys for being there like always. And also, of course, Natasha was in the chat. We had Del Long here as well. We had Kendall, people watching us on Facebook and also on Twitch. We always got that one guy that always watching us on Twitch. And pretty soon we will be going to on Instagram as well. So stay tuned for that. So this platform going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to grow. And also make sure you can also download you can also listen to us as well on how what is it, Apple Radio?
Apple,
are we on Spotify?
Yeah,
Pandora. We on all streaming.
Everything, all streaming stuff. So if
so we all on the stream. So you see that we put in the work is for you guys at the end of the day to keep you guys entertained throughout the week. So like always, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. We over and out.
Peace.
Peace.